Yesterday was bananas in the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. JP Morosi, you had a front row seat on MLB Tonight. They were saying, it's not you, it's me. Him talking about his suitors. He has narrowed them down to 3. Good morning. What did you think of that news?
Lauren, good morning. We are indeed potentially mere 24 hours, maybe 48 hours away from learning where Roki Sasaki will sign, because the international signing period begins tomorrow, Wednesday, and we expect is sooner rather than later to learn where Roki Sasaki is going to sign. First reported by Jeff Passan, Dodgers, Padres, Blue Jays are the final trio. And I listened intently, Lauren, to the conversation off the top of the show between Harold and Matt, and there's an argument to be made for all 3 of the remaining teams. And I'll give the quick top line reason for each of them. We can dive in deeper on all 3 of them. When you think about the Dodgers, of course, they're the reigning World Series champions. They already have multiple Japanese superstars there. There's a pretty strong proof of concept there that when you sign, you get a chance to win and excel. I think that's a very obvious fit for those reasons. With the Padres, the connection is deeper. And Harold talked about this, about Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish is the person that Roki Sasaki grew up idolizing in Japan. He is the one to whom he has the greatest personal connection. In Japanese culture, there's the senpai-kohai relationship, and Darvish is Sasaki's senpai in that way, meaning he is the one that he looks up to. There's the respect. He's the elder. There is that mentorship relationship that exists much more so with Darvish than anybody else. So if his dream is to play with his mentor, San Diego is where he will go. Toronto, by contrast, presents a really unique opportunity because they have, in many ways, Lauren, what is described as best-in-class facilities, both in Dunedin and in Toronto. They also have, notably, excellent pitching program. Pete Walker is the pitching coach. You think about the number of pitchers who have gone there and excelled. Berrios, Gossman, Bassett, of a more recent vintage, Bowden Francis coming in. Yusei Kikuchi had a really strong season last year prior to the trade. So the Jays are somewhat known as a good place to go as a pitcher. So and also, and Harold talked about this, really strong Japanese community in Toronto as well. What an amazing culture Toronto has. So I think for all 3 teams, you can build a very strong case. And Lauren, at this moment in time, it is simply up to whatever Roki Sasaki wants to do, given how close all the offers are going to be financially.
What does JP Morosi say? 1 to 3, most likely to least.
That's a tough question, Lauren.
I'm a journalist, though.
You are a journalist. I really believe. I think the characterization that's been out there that the Dodgers are the favorites and the clear favorites. I don't feel that way right now. Now that's again this is not my report. This is just my sense of where things are going. He may still wind up there, but I do not think that this is an inevitability that he's a Dodger, which has been the way that some people have portrayed this along the journey. I think San Diego's got a real chance here because of that Darvish connection. And honestly, if he doesn't go there, it would not surprise me at all if it ends up being Toronto, just because of what they've presented to him. He took a trip, according to Sportsnet, Shai Davidi reporting on this. There was a visit for Roki to Toronto. I love Toronto even in the winter, but you don't go there casually in January. You've got to have a good reason to go there. So I think that is a pretty strong evidence of his seriousness and his sincerity in looking at Toronto. I do believe San Diego may have been the more recent visit in that perhaps they've got that final visit where that's almost like the closing argument for the Padres. So I could very easily see that if he goes to California, it would be in San Diego.
Okay.
And not
So Padres, this is a new team I invented. Padres, Dodgers, Blue Jays in that order.
I may say Padres, Jays, Dodgers.
Wow. Okay.
That's just my as of this moment in time on a Tuesday morning, fully acknowledging that he's going to make his own decision. But if I had to rank them right now, that's where I would go.
Okay, yesterday, you love Canada. Perhaps he does too. Yesterday, I was watching the show from afar, JP, and I saw the 2 words, max and closer, as in Max Scherzer. And I thought, what the heck is going on? Is that Does it have legs, or is it, as Harold says, hogwash in a sense?
So, Lauren, you had the same. I had the same reaction to you, which was I've got to do some homework on this and check out to see how plausible it is that Max would be a closer. And I asked that question, Lauren, and the answer was not terribly likely, is what I was told. Never to say never on this, but that I checked with someone close to Max who said the focus is still, yes, pitching in 2025, and to an extent, doing so as a starting pitcher. And we talked before, a 9 strikeout difference between JV and Max Scherzer, and you can bet that they are going to try to find a way, either one, to pass the other. So I do think you look at those options. I think Max's best chance would be to do that as a starting pitcher. I do wonder if we will learn more once things get settled with respect to the Sasaki news and then the other free agent bats, because the bats could actually impact where other trades happen. If you, for example, if San Diego signs Sasaki, maybe they end up trading a Cease or an Arias, and they have some more flexibility to make other moves. So, but I would say we will wait to see what the Sasaki news is, and that could at least indirectly impact where Max goes. But again, I do not believe he's going to be a closer. Max Scherzer is a starting pitcher.
I love it. You know where Mama Shahadi wants him. You know that, JP Morosi.
She wants him back home. And you know what, Lauren? I actually had that idea this morning and thought to myself, the Nationals could be a good homecoming story. They've got the spring training base near where he's.
Don't you threaten me with a good time, JP Morosi.
So, Lauren, I think you
Harold
might
thinks it stinks.
Tell Mama Shahadi to get that jersey out and keep it handy, because you never know. Max may come home.
She's watching every single show.
I love arrogance.
See, my mom's not arrogant. What's wrong with you, Harold?